What's the most challenging place you've been to?
I would say the most challenging place that I've been to was in the jungles of Belize, on the border of Guatemala, where I was there for 2 months as a team of 3. And the jungle, I've been in different jungles, and this jungle was just so alive with everything. There were deadly fer-de-lance snakes, there were tarantulas, there were scorpions, centipedes. Just the place felt like it was crawling. On top of that, we had really unusual extreme wet weather. So there was a lot of flooding. So that was a very difficult place to work.
What things would you say are essential to take with you when you're going on an adventure?
Having the right clothing for the right environment, for the right biome, is really critical, and that includes footwear. So if you're in a jungle, thinking about footwear becomes really important. Jungle boots that jungle boots don't keep water out, they absorb water and let it out. Otherwise, the water gets trapped in the boot with your foot and you end up with trench foot. So looking after your feet is really important. It sounds really obvious. And same in a cold environment, the last thing you want is some kind of frostbite and so on. So clothing and footwear are really essential, and understanding what kind of clothing and what kind of footwear.
Do you prefer extreme heat or extreme cold?
I like both, but I would say I prefer extreme cold. I think it's much easier to get warm when it's cold than it is to try and get cool when you're in the heat. I love how the cold weather environment is so quiet, it's so soft, it feels really pristine, it's very beautiful. And I feel like I'm walking through it in my slippers because we just wear moccasins, which is the traditional indigenous way of looking after your feet.
And apart from the right clothing, is there any other essential item you take with you?
A cutting edge, a knife or an axe, depending on your environment, or a machete. But a cutting edge becomes your primary way to have a relationship and engage with the natural environment around you. With a knife or an axe, you can make everything else that you need. So I would say that those were the most essential items for me, and for anyone that's building up a skill base in bushcraft to be out in wilderness.
Do you take any luxuries?
Yeah, I guess my luxury would be a pillow. I think if you can get a good night's sleep, then that becomes really important outside. So I like to take a little camp pillow with me.